Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Mondays are always fast and furious. My name is Hanna Olivas. I am from She Rises Studios Publishing, and I am joined today with a very special guest. Her name is Charlene Stratton, also known as Char. She has written an incredible book called She Has a Right, and I really wanted to bring her on today to do some live Q&A, just talk about um, the creation of the book and some of the things that she's been doing over the last few weeks since the book is released. So welcome, Char. Thank you for joining me today.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Hannah. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's good to be with you.
So you wrote a book called She Has a Right, which is currently across all the major online platforms, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, lots of them, too many to list. First of all, I wanted to know, why did you name the book She Has a Right? What does it have? What do you mean?
She Has a Right came from my great-grandfather that was born in 1868, 3 years after the Civil War. And it was his simple Norwegian wisdom about women and a child has the right, which was way ahead of his time. And unwed mothers, how they were treated. And he felt that that was not right and that the child has a right to her family.
So is it it seems like it's subjects that a lot of people would sweep under the rug, so to speak, or not talk about.
You know, Hannah, it's amazing. Since I wrote the book, and this is the part that is so amazing. I touched lives on it, and so many people have come and told me their stories. And a lot of them are very amazing stories. And it's so wonderful to that we reached out to them, and that they reached out to me because they could tell their story. And I've encouraged some of them to write. I'm going to help some of them get their stories out. It's everybody, it's women helping women. And it is amazing the people who have come forward since I wrote this, and the reviews I've had on it, people, how it touched them. And I'm so glad of that. That's what I wanted it to do.
What do you think were some of the hardest parts for you in terms of creating the book?
I think I didn't want to muddy the waters with a lot of detail, because sometimes you can lose the point you're trying to get to in the details. And I think I accomplished that. It's a quick read. It makes the point. It has obviously risen people up over what they were called, how they were treated. I've had so many of them say, my one, for example, her grandmother was pregnant at 16 and how she was treated. And the other one's the name calling, and just on and on. And now they're telling their stories. And so it's amazing. And the reviews, just how it touched them for what they went through. It's accomplishing a great deal. I was just amazed at the people who have come, and I'm so thankful and so glad that it is reaching them. It is telling the story. They're getting the point. A lot of people are, and I've had major, wonderful, successful book signings.
I was just about to ask you. So you have shared, you've done a radio interview. I saw an article about you in the newspaper. I know that you've had some incredible signings.
And more to come.
And you still, yeah. And the book is still very, very new, so in terms of how did you come about getting an article so fast? What was the article about? Can you share that?
In the newspaper, you mean, Hannah? Well, it's a local paper. We're small town. We're small area. It's farming and small towns, and everybody from a lot of other places. and they know you.
Mhm.
And when you've lived here a lifetime, you know a lot of people. So, the local paper just covered, and she wrote an article promoting my book. Um, I had sent her a few manuscripts to see what she thought about it because I've known her for so long.
Mhm.
And she really promoted it because she could see that it needed to be told.
And how was the radio interview?
It was amazing. I had never done that before either. My goodness, when you're 75 and you do this stuff. But it was interesting, and it really got a good response. People liked it, and it was, again, people were, I didn't know you wrote a book, or this, or they just loved the interview, and it really helped promote the book and what was happening in the area. And I'm going to broaden myself into other towns, and I hope to get into Ripon and Oshkosh and Stevens Point and that kind of thing. But right now I'm doing around here. But the radio interview was just amazing. It was done so well, and it is our local area radio, so people listen to it.
I listened to it. I thought it was an incredible interview. I think you shared a
Thank
lot
you.
of different views and experiences, of what you went through. And she has a right, has so many messages throughout the book in the sense of a lot of things that you wrote about, that you shared about in the book, are things that people don't want to talk about.
Right.
It's the hush hush. And even today, we experience some of those things. And I think the messages that you conveyed, of yes, we as women have a right. We have a
Yes.
right to speak. We have a right to know. We have a right to have an opinion. And the list goes on and on. But for whatever reason, our voices throughout the years have been stifled. And I think what makes this so extraordinary is that you just said yourself, you're 75 years old. How
Yes.
long have you
And
been
I did this.
how long have you been waiting to write this book and share your voice?
It's amazing, Hannah. I had thought about it off and on for a few years. And I thought, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to do it and all this stuff.
Mhm.
And then I went to a book signing in Plainfield, Wisconsin, another little town, just, a few miles away. And CJ Boyd, and she's very involved in She Rises Studios. And her and I got talking, and she said, Char, you've got to write this down. You've
Mhm.
got to tell the story. And she told me about She Rises Studios. And I'm telling you what, it's been amazing, just amazing ever since. And I just love She Rises Studios. You folks have done everything you can to help, and help so many people, so
Well, thank
many
you.
women.
I happen to be a big CJ Boyd fan, but I'm also a big fan of Char. I
Yes,
think
we just love you. We do.
I think that it's important, as women, that we support one another. And you have such an incredible support team. I mean, you were sharing with me a few days ago of a woman who reached out to you and said, wow, your story impacted me. I want to talk. I want to speak. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good because I think it's time. I
Mhm.
really think it's time, Hannah, that women step up and say, we're going to support each other. There's not going to be this, there was one gal that just approached me the other day, and she said, what I went through and how people shunned me and how they treated me and my daughter and everything else because she was unwed. She has a wonderful daughter and she's a wonderful person. And I think it's time that people step up, and the women support each other. And it's just amazing when you start doing stuff like this, the
Yeah.
feedback you get, and the women then start realizing, I can do this. I can tell my story, and it's not shame. It's rising up.
Agreed. I think that you've broken some major stigmas in the sense of women who feel they're too old to share their voice. Well, we know that's not true.
And I
Women,
want, yes,
yeah, women.
I want to do that, Hannah, because I was trying to make I wrote the book when I was 74. 75, I had my radio interview on my birthday.
Yeah.
And I had my first book signing the first day I was 75. My point is that you're not too old. It's not too late. And they have stories to tell. Maybe it hurts to get over and get over the hurt, rise above it, and help other people do the same.
Beautiful. So let's talk about your book signing you just had. How did that go?
Oh my goodness, Hannah. It was the place I was in. I was at the Nest in Watoma at that time, and the first one was at Lunch Creek Winery in another town, Nashgoro, just a little ways away from Watoma, small communities. And they were both wonderful. And Saturday, the store had to open early and close late.
Wow.
There was people in lines, and I know so many, and I didn't just autograph. I tried to write each one that I knew a note, a little something in there, personal, so that it wasn't just a book signing, that it meant something. And I mean, people were in line, and it was the place was just a buzz. It was wonderful though, and it was so great to see everybody and the support. And I have more coming. Some people couldn't come because of other things, and I have a book signing in the library at Watoma October 14th, and more people will be coming. And then it's at Starks and Luch in Plainfield at the coffee shop is 21st. And then at the Sunshine Coffee Shop in Red Granite, Veterans Day, November 11th, and it's going on from there.
Look at you.
Yeah, I mean, it's all these book signings, and then they contact, they want me to do it, and the reviews have been wonderful, and it's people telling me their stories and how they're realizing it's okay, and and help, and they've when one gal came to the book signing and brought me a gift. I mean, it was just, yeah, I mean, it's just wonderful. And she's a rather new friend, but she was just over the top supportive. It's just been amazing, Hannah, just amazing.
You just never know who you're going to touch. You never know who's watching. You never know who you're inspiring. Your bravery and what you have shared in your book has, forged a new sense of women wanting to speak out, women wanting to share, women wanting to just really embrace who they are, where they came from. And I think that's extraordinary. I do have one question for you, though. And
Yes.
so you're in Wisconsin.
Yes.
Are you by any chance a Green Bay Packer fan?
Kind of. Sure. Yes, of course. Go Pack.
I am. And so I feel like that is such I just had to ask. I've been meaning to ask you for the longest.
And the Badgers, the
And
Wisconsin
so
Badgers.
that means you're even more incredible than I already knew. So what do you think is next for you, Char, in the sense, besides book signings and things? What are some things?
I don't know, Hannah. I really don't know. I don't know. I mean, people have asked me, when are you going to write your next book? And I said, what would I write about? I have to think about it. If anybody has any ideas, let me know. I like a quick read. I like a book that gets to the point, where it isn't just filler sometimes. So that's what I tried to do. And I obviously have made my point and done well. I want to help people. I want to help women. So maybe and there's a couple that are going to start writing that have joined She Rises Studios, business people, and I'm trying to get them to tell their stories. And I just, if there's anything I can do, if anybody has any ideas, if they want me to write another book, what they would want it about, let me know. I don't know, honey. 75. I don't know.
Gosh,
But I just want to help. I just want to help.
I could think of about 10 other books you could write from the first book, but
Well, then you tell me. Yes,
that's
and we get going at it.
kind of how my mind works. I mean, you're talking about generations. You're talking about,
Yes.
like, you and I shared,
Yes.
culture, background,
Yes.
where our descendants are from. I mean, there's so much. One of
And I
my
was adopted to my grandparents.
Yeah, and me too.
I
And
know.
that's a story in itself.
Yes. And
Um,
they were so wonderful, when you think about the generation gap.
mm,
And sometimes that was hard, like I remember my mom was always sewing me my clothes and I told her I wanted store-bought clothes, that kind of thing.
mhm,
But they were wonderful people. They were good, honest, true to the bone
yeah.
people. I'm so thankful for that because it could have been a whole other way. You know what I mean?
But here
And
you
you
are.
too. And
Here
you
you are.
too.
Oh, I had incredible grandparents. My
Yes.
grandparents raised me. My grandmother was from Norway. My grandfather was from Holland. And then of course my Italian and Mexicana side. But it's
And that Norwegian wisdom, isn't that amazing?
the traditions, the culture, the beauty of it all. I couldn't have asked for better parents, truth be told.
Absolutely. You and I are blessed, Hannah.
Because it could have been a lot different. I'm so excited for you, Char. I cannot wait to see what you're going to write next. Congratulations
Well,
to
you
you.
let me know.
Oh, I will. I'll send you a list. So, for those who have not read this book, it is called She Has a Right by Charlene Stratton. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it just about anywhere. Grab that book, reach out to Char. She's very easy to find. She's very engaging. She talks to everybody. And
And if
let's bring
anybody
this
needs help,
message.
I'm more than
Yes,
willing to help them.
yes. So connect with Char, read this book, send in reviews. She's an incredible woman. And congratulations to you, Miss Char. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, She Rises and Hannah, for everything you've done and everything you are and everything you're going to be. You're just exploding with this, and it's so wonderful. Just keep it going. Just keep it going. And
Thank
I'm
you.
your biggest cheerleader.
I know you are. You will see Charmore. This will not be the last time that you see her on our screen. And happy Monday, everyone. Remember, she has a right. Grab that book today. Thank you, Char. Have a great Monday.
Thank you, my dear.
Bye.
Bye bye.